You need the right people in your ear, not the naysayers. You don't need the people that say, well, I don't want to use AI because I am an authentic business. I'm sorry, Karen. I am too. I just know how to use the tool. You're not any less authentic if you use AI. You're actually more inauthentic if you're using AI improperly, which is what they don't realize that they're seeing. They're seeing stuff and they're knowing that it's AI and they're thinking that that is the end all be all. What they're seeing are people not knowing how to use AI and putting out AI slop. But when you know how to use AI, you can't tell that it's AI. This is episode 468 of Bella in Your Business. I got this DM last week and this pet sitter was so excited because she was like, I finally switched to Claude. She's been hearing me talk all about how Claude is so much superior in terms of writing and thinking to ChatGPT. She couldn't wait to finally tell me that she's done all this stuff, that she uploaded her website, she's created her projects. She did everything that I basically had talked about in my last blog, where I explained the whole difference of it. And then she's even in the mastermind where I went into a whole hour of specific things of tips and tricks for Claude. Okay, so she was on fire. She was totally excited, but I felt bad because I had to kind of slow her down. She wasn't using AI. She was really just changing apartments. And stay with me here. It was like she was coming from ChatGPT and just changing the address on an empty apartment. Empty, okay? Same four walls, same bare floors, brand new logo. But if you've ever built a custom GPT and it still sounds like a robot, or if you've ever switched platforms 3 times, or you're trying to go between all of them and you feel like they just all don't know about you, this is the episode for you today. I'm going to go through all of it and make sure that you understand that when you put something into AI, how it should literally sound like you and not AI. People should be like, how are you working so much? How are you doing so much? Because they don't even know that it's AI that they're getting from you. All right. In today's episode, I'm literally going to talk all about your AI brain. My name's Bella Vasta, and this is Bella in Your Business. Let's get into it. Today, I'm going to give you a name for a thing that's been missing from your AI setup. I've taught you the technicalities of it, and I've given you the overview of it, right? But today, we're going to talk about your AI brain. And as far as I'm concerned, I think I'm the only one that's actually coined this term. It is one file. It contains you, all right? It travels with you across every platform. I'm talking Gemini, I'm talking Claude, I'm talking ChatGPT, Perplexity, and it is the single biggest reason why your AI is going to start sounding like you, or it's going to keep sounding like garbage, which hopefully you're a jumper. That's not going to happen for you because you got me and got a year and a half worth of podcast episodes at the very least, or almost 40 trainings inside of the mastermind. So let's get into it, all right? Because the next 20 minutes, you're going to understand what your AI brain is and why 3 out of 4 AI features you're paying for are simply empty, probably, and exactly how you need to build yours. Now, let me just tell you one thing. If you are getting value from this show, please hit subscribe, please. And please give us a rating. I would love that so much. It would really help me. If you're thinking, wow, this is so amazing, what can I do to help Bella? That would be amazing. All right. And then also send this email to someone who you've been having this conversation with, because I know in business or personal, you have been having AI conversations. All right. And they probably need this episode. So let's get into it. The problem that no one's naming, what actually is happening in business right now. People are watching reels, they're saving prompts, they're following AI experts, they're switching tools every month, and they're not even getting it from the apple tree, if you know my analogy on that. They're not going to the actual LLMs. Some people are getting third-party apps that are using the LLMs and white labeling it and putting a package in a bow on it and saying this is your next best tool and next thing that you need to know. No, you really don't. I know you guys. I know you guys for 20 years. Like, you don't need all this extra stuff. You just need to understand how to use the stuff that you have to the fullest capability. And the one thing I will say is that not listening and implementing what I'm about to tell you is like using a cell phone only to make a phone call and not the hundreds of other things that we use it for. An alarm clock, a calendar, a calculator, a video, a picture, a way to communicate with people. Like, there's so many things that we use that for, right? But like ChatGPT one week, maybe that's what you might have. Claude next week, that's what you might have. Perplexity, some shiny new thing that just dropped. Like, and the output still sounds like a corporate intern who walked in off the street. Or some like, it's not this, it's that. Guys, we're beyond that now. It is the middle of 2026 at the time of this recording, and it's time to level up. And I'm here to help you, all right? That tool doesn't know you. And it's not that you didn't spend time on it. Like, you didn't load yourself into it. You loaded a website URL, or you gave it this thing that interviewed you maybe a year ago, okay? You loaded up maybe your service description or one paragraph answer to a question it answered you, or I'm a pet sitter in Scottsdale, custom instruction. That's not you. It's a business card. It's the things that you do, but it's not you, okay? And listen, if this makes you uncomfortable, I want you to go back and listen to episode 433, like 30 episodes ago, where I broke down 13 AI mindset shifts. Because the first shift is realizing that the tool is not the problem. It's the way that you are using it, all right? So if you need some backup on that, go check that out. The tool did not fail you. You just haven't built your AI brain yet. This is why you see people doing things and you're like, well, they can do them, but I'm not doing them. What's the disconnect? Like, it's not tech. I'm going to tell you that right now. It is not technical. Like, I would do AI all day before I ever did Google AdWords or Facebook ads or an email campaign automation. That is more difficult than AI, but you need to wrap your brain around it, which is why I'm doing this today. Getting a little excited there. Okay, so before I tell you what the AI brain is, you need to understand the 4 containers that almost every major AI platform gives you to put into. It's not just a markdown file. It's not just let me grab all this and dump it in here, okay? Most small business owners only know about 1, maybe sometimes 2. The others, they just sit there empty doing nothing, all right? And that's why your AI sounds generic. So number 1 is projects, okay? And in Claude, they're called projects. In ChatGPT, they're called custom GPTs. In Gemini, they're called gems, all right? A project is a dedicated workspace, a folder with a brain. You upload files to it. You set instructions. You have to tell it what to do. What does it do? Everything you do inside that project contains the same shared context, okay? You should have a project per brand, per business, or per initiative. Not one giant project trying to do everything for everyone, all right? That's how you confuse the AI. Like, think of it this way. If I was doing a project folder, I would have one set up for employees because my audience is employees. It's internal. And then I'd have one for like our customers, and that would be external, right? That's our external facing voice. And one is internal, one is external. That's like an example, okay? Number 2 is styles. Now, in Claude, they're called styles. In GPT, they're called custom instructions. In Gemini, they're baked into your gem instructions or personas. They're called something different everywhere, okay? But the basic setup is the same, all right? Styles tell the AI how you want to write, the tone, the voice, the formatting, the words you love, words you would never say. So if you were stacking now, you could have a project and you could say, I want it in the style of person A, or I want it in the style of person B. The style is what dictates the tone. The project is what dictates the ecosystem of what we're discussing or what we're talking about, okay? Most people skip this entirely. And that's why they have it rewrite things and then they're trying to edit them because it doesn't sound like their voice. And then you get emails that have like all different size fonts. Have you ever seen that before? Okay. Or you read all this AI slop that so many people are doing with their captions on social media. It's what we're all thinking. Let me say the quiet part out loud. We know this isn't authentic and we're not taking you seriously. Don't be that person, okay? The third part is project instructions. So these are the rules that are inside a project. When I ask for a blog post, always use HT. Never use the word leverage. Always sign off with my booking link. These would be certain instructions, okay? Project instructions are rules of that room. That room, not the whole house, the room. Styles are how you show up in the room, okay? Am I wearing a ball gown or am I wearing sweatpants? Okay. Number 4, and this is the big one, it's memory. Okay. There's 2 kinds. There's universal memory that goes in the whole entire AI, right? No matter what room or project you're in, it's kind of like for the whole house. Okay. But then there's project memory that, like, when you walk into this room, we're going to put blue lights on. We're going to have EDM music on. We're going to set the temperature to 75 degrees. That's what I'm talking about. I hope that makes sense, all right? And so universal memory is what the AI remembers about you across every conversation, in every room of the house, every project, everywhere on the platform, okay? Your name, your business, the name of your dog, the fact that you hate the word synergy, the fact that you live in Scottsdale, the fact that you've been a pet sitter for 12 years. That's universal memory. Project memory is when AI remembers within a specific project. The brand voice you would set up, the files you upload, the pricing decision that you made last Tuesday, it'll have the context of those conversations. Unfortunately, most people are having all these conversations in just a general room. Like, I know because I see your ChatGPT. And so what you're trying to do when you're transferring from, say, ChatGPT to Claude is you're going into your ChatGPT Universal and it cannot remember everything. Although we think that it does, but in actuality, it doesn't. You want to test my theory? Go into your settings, look at your memory, see what it actually knows. You're going to be like, that's it? Yeah, that's it. Because it only has a certain amount of tokens that it can remember. Okay? I want them both to work for you though. Universal memory will make the AI know you, and the project memory will make AI know the work that you're working on. Okay? Most small business owners don't even know that these features exist. And that changes today. That's why I'm here today. And that's why I'm dedicating an entire podcast to this. Okay? Now listen closely. All 4 of those things, project styles, instructions, and memories. I also wrote a blog on this that if you're more visual and you want to look at it, you can do that. These are empty containers and they stay empty until you fill them up. Okay? Every project, empty style, empty instructions, empty memory. This is why people switch from ChatGPT to Claude and nothing changes. They moved their empty containers to a new platform. That's why I said you just changed departments. That's it, just addresses. But it's still the same problem. And this is where you have an enormous amount of an opportunity to figure out what can this do for you. All right. The AI brain is what fills them up. So an AI brain is actually like one master file. It contains you, your voice, beliefs, your pillars, your stances, your stories, your vocabulary, your hot takes, your words you'd never say, the way you would talk to clients, the way you talk on the stage, the origin story, what you stand for, what you stand against. It is you in a file. I would also encourage you to let it live in your Google Drive or your desktop, or I like everything in the cloud personally. Maybe you use Dropbox, whatever it is, wherever you save things. I encourage it to be online in the cloud so you can access it anywhere. And these files need to be looked at like every 3 months or so. Yeah, because things change and evolve, okay? Or you learn things and you're like, you know what? I want to incorporate this rule now. The whole point is that it's portable. And when it's portable, it means that you control it. It's not like you're trying to extract something out of ChatGPT and then move over someplace else. What that does is it prohibits your AI flexibility. And if you can't be fluid in your AI usage, then you're creating a disadvantage for yourself. This is really important, and I hope this is sinking in, okay? So maybe you take this AI brain and you drop it into Claude on Monday, this universal, right? But then maybe on Tuesday, you're back in ChatGPT, and maybe Gemini on Wednesday. It doesn't matter because you're fluid and you can go anywhere and all of them know you. Because as you also get to know the different LLMs, you'll see that different ones are good at different things. I want you to learn this, and then I want you to not be afraid to spend $20 on a membership on all of them, but do one of them really well first. You will make that $20 back in 20 minutes. That's probably the best ROI you will ever have in your business. It is for me, which is why I don't mind spending subscriptions for AI. Okay, so the AI fluency of it, right? So if you haven't figured out which platform you actually want to use, go listen to which AI model should I use for my business. I did a podcast on this and I talked about Claude, Perplexity, ChatGPT, Grok, and who am I missing? Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, Perplexity. Yeah. So that episode breaks down them all. So you can pick your home base and then you can come back here and build your brain. All right. Now, I'm going to keep using Claude language the rest of this episode because Claude, for me, it's the best writer. I mean, it's not just me saying this. All my really smart friends say this too. It's literally known as that. I mean, if you might have heard me say this before. I feel like ChatGPT is like a ADHD 5-year-old, and I feel like Claude is like a mature, emotionally responsive adult. All right, but just because that's my strategy, it does not mean it has to be your strategy. That's my recommendation. You can do your own thing. But for the sake of this, the rest of this podcast, I'm going to talk in Claude language. So the strategy is going to be the same in every tool. It might be like a different button or called something different, but it's essentially kind of set up the same way. All right. But real quick, if you've been thinking like, I want to play with all of them, but without having to pay for subscriptions, this is exactly what my friend Dustin over at Magai is for. With Magai, you can get access to all of the writing models, LLMs, and most of the image and video models under one roof for the same price of one LLM. That's $20. But if you use my link, jumpconsulting.net/Magai, MAGAI, you get 30% off for the first 3 months, making it only $14. How could you afford not to understand these ecosystems that could drastically pivot your business? Just saying. All right, so let's do a warning before you build. Garbage in equals garbage out. And if your content is thin, your AI brain is going to be thin. If you've never published a blog, you've never recorded a podcast, you've never been interviewed, you've never written anything substantial, your AI brain is going to be skinny. And that's okay. It's something for you to think about moving up. It's why building your content and building your blog in a strategic way is so ridiculously important that that's where I'm focused on helping you guys right now because it's so important. The heck with social media right now. The heck with those graphics. I mean, you might as well just go down the freeway and throw money out the window. Anyways, I went off track there. Let's get back to the AI brain being skinny. Path 1, you're going to have 2 paths you can do. The first one is you have content, tons of it, years of it. You keep listening. The next 10 minutes are for you. Path 2, you don't have content. You haven't been blogging. You haven't been creating. You haven't been writing stories or whatever on your social media captions. You just don't have much stuff written. You haven't been publishing anything. In that case, you need to be interviewed. And I don't mean 10 questions on a Sunday afternoon. I mean hours. I mean where you talk for 10 minutes until it stops, and then you talk another 10 minutes, and you do that for hours. And you just keep plugging in your information. Do not ever type back to AI. Always talk, okay? It's drastically different. And if you're like, well, great, what should I read? Well, my friend George B. Thomas walks exactly through how to do this on our Clone Yourself in Your Pet Business with AI episode. I want you to go listen to that one. I'm going to put the prompt in the show notes. It is a very long prompt. I mean, you better sit down with a cup of coffee. Like, it's going to take you a minute, but you are going to be blown away by the results. But for today, I'm going to talk to the small business owners who have been creating, the podcasters, the bloggers, the keynote speakers, the ones who have written epic emails for years, the ones who have been guests on maybe other people's show. This one is for you, okay? So 6 steps, stay with me. Number 1, gather everything, pull it all together. Okay, every piece of content you've ever published or has been published about you. When I did this, and y'all are not going to be me, and that's okay, right? But just as an example, I had my VA a year ago take all the transcripts from my podcasts and make a big ass document up from it. Okay, it was so big we had to put it in 4 different documents because it was too big for Google Drive for Docs. It was almost 1 million words. Do you know how much content that is? Do you know how great my AI brain is going to be knowing that now? Now, with that being said, my AI brain cannot go through 1 million words every single time I fire it off. It needs to be distilled. But when you have that much, you can take that and work it and distill it. Like, think about like I'm Italian. So you're simmering a sauce on the stove. The longer you simmer it, the better it gets. Yeah? Okay. So step 2 is knowing the upload limits. All right. Every platform has one. I kind of just touched on this. And let's say like for right now, as of May 2026, Claude is 30 megabytes per file. ChatGPT is 512 megabytes. Gems are 100 megabytes. Okay. They're all different. And you can like ask the LLM what their limit is. Okay. But the bottom line is that Claude is the most generous. ChatGPT is the second, and Gemini is the tightest at this recording, okay? So if your content goes over the limits, you can like split it up into chunks, all right? So my podcast alone, like I said, had 1 million words, and I had to do it in 4 different things. Step 3, build your master prompt with AI, okay? Most people skip this step. Please don't. Here's the actual process that George B. Thomas walks through. Same from the Clone Yourself episode. So he says you upload your chunks, then you talk to the AI and you tell it what you want it to learn about you. You ask it to help you build massive prompt that will pull out all of that source material, okay? You need to use it like a thought partner. Don't just one way tell it what to do. It can actually work with you. Thought partner, okay? That's what AI is right now. And it'll give you a draft prompt, and then you can challenge it out loud and say, hey, how can we make it better? Make it argue with itself. Where are your blind spots? Make this stronger. Don't just take the first thing. You've heard me say this before. Then the prompt that George wrote walks you through your 7 core values, your 7 core mindsets, your 7 core beliefs, and through reflective interview questions. Values are what you stand for. Mindsets are how you think. Beliefs are what you teach. This is way deeper than grammar and vocabulary. It's who you are. I love doing these interviews while I'm driving because my brain just flows. I could talk forever. Like I said, I'll put that prompt in the show notes for you. And if you want to go deeper on prompt building before you write yours, go back to episode 444, AI prompts for pet sitters. A prompt without an AI brain is a question with no context. The brain is what it makes the prompt land. I can tell just by reading your social media who has an brain and does not. I've gotten so good at this because every single one of my clients, I sit down for about 90 minutes interviewing them. Okay? All right. So now step 4 is you're going to have AI compress everything to one markdown file. The markdown is just a fancy word for clean text file with light formatting. It's not scary. Don't overthink it. Markdown because every single AI tool reads it. It's universal language of AI files. Easy in, easy out, portable everywhere. Step 5, save it. I know that sounds obvious, but I'm putting it in as a step. Master SOP folder, Google Drive, Dropbox, wherever your business lives. Treat it like gold. That's going to be like if you work with someone who's going to help you with your marketing, you're like, yeah, I've already done my AI brain. Okay? Most of my clients, like, I mean, I do this for $500 for them. But when they work with me, I do it for free because it obviously helps me represent them better. But then I give it to them and they use it. And they use it for a long time and they give it to their office manager. Hey, you can use this to write emails back to our clients. Don't sit there and spend 20 minutes on an email. You can do it in 2 minutes. This is trained on our business brain, right? Okay. So no more rebuilding, no more starting from scratch every single time you have to try a new platform. No more, I have to teach this AI all about me all over again. Okay, let's do it properly because this probably isn't going to be the first time that you switch or add an AI. This is basic foundation that will pay you back 100x over the lifetime of your business and your AI journey. Okay. So here's a shortcut, all right? If those 6 steps just made you drop, here's the shortcut. Use Claude Cowork to do steps 1 through 5 for you. Cowork is the version of Claude that can read entire folders on your computer. Okay, so you have Claude Desktop, where you chat. Then you have Claude Cowork, where it does things for you. It's called Agents. It sounds really techy. I promise you it's not. You just say, hey, go do this for me. You can't have Claude go do something for you if you're on the regular Claude chat. It doesn't. But once you do Claude Cowork and you have it hooked up, and like I said, I did a whole blog on all of this, it's a lot easier. Now, Cowork only works on a computer, okay? Like, let's say my desktop. But here's an actual example. They also have this thing called Dispatch. I didn't understand it at first. I was like, they're like, oh, it can access files on your computer. I'm like, I don't keep files on my computer. Well, what I did do is I took my Google Drive and I allowed my computer to access my Google Drive from my computer now. Because when I was sitting in my bed last night on the other side of my house, not wanting to get up, go across the house, come into my home office, I said on Dispatch, which basically talks to my computer. Think Log Me In. Do you ever remember Log Me In, where you could like remote access your computer? Except you don't have to access it. AI does. And so what it says is, hey, I said, can you know those email drafts that I approved already to send out to the local media? Can you please draft them? And so I can send them out in the morning. So what it did is it took all of the emails that we already had and it made a draft in my Gmail because it won't send them. So then this morning I came into my office, I already had 17 emails ready to go. All I had to do was, it was amazing, you guys. That would have taken me at least an hour. Problem solved, okay? And so I want you to think about how could I be working better? And this is exactly what I do with businesses. I audit your processes, or you write down everything that you do for 5 days. I audit your processes. I tell you where you're wasting time or leaking energy. And what this does is it streamlines things. It gets you, the biggest thing isn't how to do it. It's the mindset shift of, hey, did you know you could do this? Or if you did it this way, it would be a lot easier. And the thing that happens with every single business owner I work with is that they all of a sudden start feeling so empowered. They start feeling so happy and proud of themselves. They change from going underwater, feeling like I wish I could clone myself. Notice how nobody says that anymore. And they're like, hey, I'm so underwater. I have so many things to do. To I'm starting to feel guilty. And they start realizing that they're trying to stay busy because they feel like busy equates to worth and value. And that's just not true. That's a whole nother conversation for another time. Okay, getting back to my notes here. So how do you know if your AI brain is working? It's easy. Just ask the AI to write something in your voice. A LinkedIn post, a client email, a blog intro, whatever. You don't want it to be like, oh my gosh, that was a great writer. Like, it sounds so good. Let me use this to put it out. This is a thing that goes on in your head. You don't even realize it. You need to say, oh my gosh, that sounds exactly like me. Not better than me, exactly like me. So for example, I have a lot of like run-on sentences, or I have a lot of ... Or if you've been following me, you know what? My grammar stinks. I'm a C student. I'm a creative. I'm not analytical perfectionist. I am a creative. And sometimes that means that everything's not perfect. And guess what? My AI knows that too. So my sentence structure isn't perfect. That's how I've trained it. I have cap locks on certain words to exaggerate what I mean because I'm a very excitable person, okay? My grammar does not follow the same structure that AI would. Of course, there's no M dashes. If you see M dashes, it means I was lazy or I didn't use my brain, okay? And you can too, all right? What if AI was actually to push back on you rather than just agreeing with everything you write? I have an episode for that too. It's episode 434, Train Your AI to Challenge You, okay? And that's the next layer that I want you to consider. Once your AI brain is locked, then we want to challenge it because every time you challenge it, it gets better and better and better, all right? And now here's something else. Your AI is a living document. I want you to go in every single quarter and I want you to review it. I want you to really sit down and look at it and be like, does this still reflect me? Have I noticed that I've been telling it to do something constantly all the time that I can just put in the memory? Did I learn something from Bella that I should include in there? Okay, this is something that you just want to check in with yourself, just like you would with your regular brain. We are not the same person today that we were last year, hopefully. Hopefully you've learned and grown and evolved your identity and your thoughts and your beliefs. So this is no different. It's the same exact thing. All right. And now the bigger picture, I'm going to kind of leave you with this. I want you to consider this. There's two types of business owners out there right now. The first kind, they use AI like a search engine. They ask questions, they get generic answers. They paste those answers into the emails, blogs, and social posts. They wonder why nothing connects because they keep hearing that AI is amazing and it grows things. And the second is the one that uses like a partner, like a thought partner, okay? They built their AI brain. They loaded you, proverbial you, into the machine. The output sounds just like them. It reads like them. It feels like them, okay? Because it is them. The gap between those two business owners is getting wider and wider every month, not smaller. Because here's what's happening. People are coming more and more online. They're starting to realize that things are a lot easier to use and they're using them. And then they're wondering, how do I use this for my business? And they're learning from me, from other people, from YouTube, from AI. And so the pet sitter who texted me yesterday, they weren't behind, okay? She just didn't do this step yet. And once she builds her AI brain, she's going to be unstoppable. And I want that for you too. I want you to know, I want you to see this vision. I want you to see just how high this ceiling is, if it's even a ceiling. It now goes into outer space. If you can dream it, it's very easy to produce it. I also encourage you to follow me on my Facebook page. I write a lot on my Facebook page and I share because I get excited about things. I just posted something this morning about what I was able to do on my website. My website was the bane of my existence for a couple years. I was going through developers and copywriters and like all kinds of things until AI came along and I was able to do everything I wanted to do. And I was able to learn really fast. I even surprised myself, quite honestly, that I actually am able to execute so much with so little. My focus this year is honestly on reinvesting my money into AI and not even humans. I can't believe I'm saying that out loud to you. It's just you and me, right? Because that's where we're at with our businesses right now. Not only is it saving me the time that it would take months, not to mention the mental anguish of going back and forth, but it would also cost me lots of money, thousands of dollars. That just isn't a reality of mine anymore. And I want to teach you how to do the same because it's absolutely amazing. You just need the right strategy. You need the right people in your ear, not the naysayers. You don't need the people that say, well, I don't want to use AI because I am an authentic business. I'm sorry, Karen. I am too. I just know how to use the tool. Okay? You're not any less authentic if you use AI. You're actually less authentic. How do I say that? Like you're actually inauthentic if you're using AI improperly, which is what they don't realize that they're seeing. They're seeing stuff and they're knowing that it's AI, and they're thinking that that is the end all be all. What they're seeing are people not knowing how to use AI and putting out AI slop. But when you know how to use AI, you can't tell that it's AI. Okay, I could keep going, but I'm not going to. For the sake of the time of these episodes, you guys, I am so happy that you're here. Again, if you could like and subscribe to this episode, that would be amazing. Just to recap a couple of things. One, if we've never met before and you would love to have a conversation, I specifically hold 20-minute meetings specifically for that purpose. So just jump on over to jumpconsulting.net/2020 and we can have a 20-minute call. You can ask me one thing and I will do my best to solve it. The other thing is the Jump Mastermind. If you do not have a community, if you do not have a community of people that are doing business with AI, and they're just really just using AI as like a topic, or like maybe once in a while we'll talk about it, and it's not integrated with everything, you need to be in the Jump Mastermind. It's for any business owner who has a forward mindset thinking and who is eager to learn. Okay, you show up, we meet twice a month. We have monthly themes. I've got over 8 years, is it now, of content in there, endless amounts. And you get me Monday through Friday. I encourage you to join. It's only $177 a month, jumpconsulting.net/mastermind. All right, well, definitely share this post with anyone who you think would benefit from it. Let me know what questions you have. And remember, when life gets you down, I want you to always keep jumping. Bye now.